Hello, how's it going? This is a recording of a virtual meeting, in case you weren't able to make it to the meeting. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through everything that um, I did in the regular meeting. I may add stuff, but this is very comparable, and this is to give you an idea of what's going on in the trip, what we're doing on the trip, um, any questions that you may have, and things like that. If you do have any questions that you think of, write them down, email them to me later, and I'll address it as they come. But we got this great trip. It's Greece and Naples in 2023 from May 30th to June 9th. So day one, we're going to fly into Greece, specifically Athens. And on that first day, depending on when we get in, we'll see the Acropolis, and a few of the other sites, spend another day in Athens. Then day 4 and 5, we'll be spending time in Milos, which is an island famous for the Venus de Milo. The next couple of days will be in Santorini, which is known for its sunrises and sunsets. Then we'll fly to Naples, and then we'll stay in the Bay of Naples area and explore Pompeii, Sorrento, Capri. Now, to give you some idea of who I am, I Googled myself, and these are some of the images that have popped up. Do with them what you will. But to give you a better idea, I'm married, I have 3 stepchildren. I teach at Wyoming Middle School, specifically Latin. I love running. I run quite a bit. I love traveling. I travel as much as I can. And then I love volunteering and working with people. So that's about me. If you want to know more, I guess ask. Going into the trip, so I say we'll spend the first couple of days in Athens. Some of the things we'll do, we'll go to the big sites, but I'd also like to do things that are a little bit off the beaten path. And one of those is going to Lake Voyagmeni, which is a thermal lake outside of Athens. And that just means that the water's the same temperature all year round. If you can see the fish on the right, those are the fish that bite the dead skin off you. We'll take our time. We'll go to the Acropolis to see the Parthenon. It's absolutely incredible in person. We'll head to the Panathenaic Stadium, which is where the 1896 Olympics were held, and we'll do a lap. It is the only stadium in the world that is built of solid marble. We'll go to the museum in Naples or in Athens. This is my favorite thing that's there. It's the Antikythera mechanism, which some consider to be the world's oldest computer. We will also in Athens do a baklava class. My friend Karina, she does cooking classes, and she'll teach us how to make baklava and make us a nice 3 to 5 course meal. The next day, we're going to Milos, famous for Venus de Milo, the armless statue of Venus in the Louvre in Paris. But its beaches are absolutely gorgeous. It is not a very populated island, so it's nice to have that time away from people and just enjoy the culture and the beauty that is a Greek island. This is one of the beaches. When you get down there, these are pictures that we have taken. On the left is basically the pathway that you've got to take to get down to it. My friend Dora has a boat, and she's going to take us around. On the right is one of the pictures from the boat. Another one of the beaches there is this one. It doesn't have sand, but it's got limestone. And we can go cliff jumping there. And the cliffs are anywhere from 8 feet to 20 feet. Dora's boat, more pictures from it. Nice beach pic. If we have the time, we'll visit the catacombs. But what you're seeing in the picture is about the sum total of the catacombs. In these spaces, they would bury the deceased. All right, then next up, Santorini. Everyone knows Santorini. It is a beautiful, beautiful place. When we go there, we'll walk around, enjoy the city, enjoy the sights. We'll do I call it a photography tour, but it's basically, there's some really cool places where you can get some pictures like those Instagram shots, and we'll do that. People like taking the pictures, and it's fun. It's a blast. And you get to walk around. We will see Akrotiri, which is like the Greek version of Pompeii. Volcano in the 17th century BC. It destroyed this city, and yeah, it's really neat to be able to walk through it. Some of the artifacts are in the Athens Museum, which I showed earlier with the Antikythera device, and it'll be cool to see that in the museum and then actually be able to walk where that was. We'll go to the volcano area called the caldera, and by it there's it's a muddy type thermal like little inlet where yeah, the water is warm all year round, like 80 plus degrees warm, and supposedly that mud has some sort of healing beneficial properties. I don't know, but it's fun to get out there. And then I just included this picture because I think it's beautiful. From Santorini, we will go to Naples, which is famous for its margarita pizza. It's named after Queen Margarita, and it's got the colors of the Italian flag. So you got the red sauce, the white mozzarella, and the green basil. From there, we got to go to the city of Pompeii. And it's just basically a museum that you can walk around, and it's fascinating. But I'll take them around through there. It's got plaster casts. Well, these plaster casts are no longer in the city. They're now at the museum. So we'll go to the museum to see the plaster casts and then walk around. The next day, we will go to the island of Capri by ferry, and it is another beautiful island. We'll walk around the top. It's got the best cannoli I've ever had in my life, the best granita, which is like a slushy, and then another one of my friends owns a boat, so he'll take us around there so we can go swimming around the island of Capri. But yeah, it's pretty nice and beautiful. A lot of this trip is very, very beautiful. So that's basically the trip in a nutshell. We'll be doing more, but I can make an hour-long video about this. To give you some idea of my travel experience, on the left, there are things that I've done, as a chaperone or a leader. And then on the right, that's how many times I visited. Greece and Italy are up there. My brother lives in Israel, so that's why, I've been there a lot. But yeah, I've led trips all over. I love traveling. All right, now, one of the reasons I started doing these tours was because I wanted people to have an opportunity that I necessarily didn't have. I couldn't afford it, and I wanted to make this stuff affordable. And if you know how to do it, it can be a lot cheaper than, what most tour companies charge. So, for example, I got these off Viator, Pompeii trip, $57.73, and I don't know why they're doing the 73 cents, but whatever. Small group tour, skip the line. The line is never more than 5 minutes long there. Never. And I know Pompeii very well, and we talk about it in class. And so I can do that for about $10 a person instead of 57. The Colosseum, I can get us in the Colosseum for about $8 a person as opposed to 115. The Vatican is a bit more expensive, 23, but I can do it cheaper than the normal tour. And so with that, I'm hoping I can bring the price into a spot where more people can take advantage of this, because I want them to have that opportunity to travel. I just pulled this from one of the main travel companies, and my trip is $3,700. This trip here is 7 days. You are just in Rome, and you're only in Rome for 5 days. And it's already more than that. And we're going to be bouncing. We got Athens, we got a couple of islands, then we're flying over. I go into another country, city, another island, and so we're doing a lot more, and we can do it for less. So with regard to the financials, there it is. Cost is $3,700. There's the payment structure. I need to have $1,700 by December 1st. I'm going to take 15 people. I like the small group size. And so, once I get 15 in, then I'll shut it down, and just focus on that group. But the cost, it covers the flights, which a lot of companies don't do that. And then basically all transportation and lodging. So you got the flights, you've got trains, bus, metro, ferry from the islands, and then the lodging, where we're staying, the hotels. Museum entrance, those are all covered. So the Archaeological Museum in Athens and in Naples. Pompeii is considered a museum. Akrotiri as well. And then experiences that are planned. So like the cooking classes, those will be covered. The boat tours, those are covered. Our time at Voyagmeni, that's covered. So basically, you're going to be looking at, in addition to these costs, lunch, dinner, and souvenirs is what you're looking at. Now, the frequently asked questions, and you can just like look at this or skip ahead, whatever you want to do. See if there's a question. There are 2 pages of this. When you need to know by December 1st, or once I have 15, that's it. Do you need to be vaccinated? No, they're not checking, and they stopped that to be about mid-May last year, I believe, or mid-May in 2022. Early May, something like that. I don't know if that'll change, but they're not testing. How do I sign up? There's a sheet in the bottom half of that. Send that to me with the initial payment, which you can do through check or Venmo. Do you take chaperones? I have my chaperones. I've traveled with them. I've worked with them. They're brilliant. Do I take parent chaperones? I don't take parent chaperones just because I don't want that divided sense of duty. I don't want you focusing on your kid and then trying to focus on the group and trying to balance that, you know. But my chaperones actually do pay to go, and they're brilliant. They're great. Do I take parents? Depends. So the focus is the students, and if I get 15 students, then that's it. That's the students. If there's extra room, then yes. As long as we can talk about it, I'll take parents. But it's been a while since I've actually been able to. It's been a while since I've actually had space on trips. How much money should you bring? I say $50 a day and you're good. It just depends on how much you want to spend on souvenirs. So some people don't buy any souvenirs, and $50 is more than enough to cover lunch and dinner. I've also had people who have spent hundreds of dollars a day because they just love what they're doing, and they buy and shop, and that's okay. So it just depends on your spending habits, how much you'll need. If COVID happens again, we'll make the best. If that means I have to give the money back, I give the money back. Last time this happened, I just postponed it for a year, and then we had a great trip after that. But we'll sort it out. We can do this. Do you provide insurance? I don't, just because I want to give people the freedom to have their own insurance. And a lot of credit cards actually provide travel insurance now, and so that's something to look into. How are the rooms set up? Hotel room, single sex, 2 to 4 to a room, just depends on where we are. How do I get a hold of my child? You can use WhatsApp if you're Wi-Fi, but some people have a phone plan, and that works well too. What do I do about getting a passport? I would get a passport as soon as you can, just to make sure it's safe. I had mine expedited. My mother just got one regular, and we both ended up with a passport in time. But I think I got mine in 10 weeks. She got hers in 15. Can I sue you or the school? No, you're going to sign a form that says as long as I don't do anything negligent, I'm not liable, and I'm not going to do that. And one of the reasons a lot of this is virtual is Wyoming is not responsible for this. So, yeah, they don't have any culpability here. And then, as I said, I'm a teacher, so you can get my student loans. That's about it. What happens if there's a medical emergency? I'll get your child to a pharmacy. In Europe, pharmacies are manned by doctors, so they've got highly qualified people there. And then, depending on what they say, we'll go from there, and I will communicate with you and keep you in the loop. Can we get a hold of you? Yeah, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp are probably the best ways to do that. WhatsApp is probably the best, though. How do we find out more information about you without asking you, since we don't even know who you are? You can Google me, or you can ask for references and then give me a day or two uh, to get those out to you. That way I can contact them and say, hey, someone's going to be messaging you. Is Greece safe? Yes, it's very safe. My friends are very safe over there. I know there's the Ukrainian-Russian conflict, but that's not affecting Greece, and nobody anticipates that it will. Same deal with Naples. Um, what do you do about safety? And this is a tricky question just because there's so many different aspects of safety. So hopefully I'll cover it in these three. But if not, feel free to email me and ask. So chaperones, I try to have a 5-to-1 ratio or a better 4-to-1 ratio. Um, one chaperone per 4 or 5 kids. Passports, I'm going to hold on to those. I have a drawstring bag that's actually heavy duty. It's got metal infused in it, so you're not going to be slicing it. You can't even slice it with an X-Acto knife. So it's heavy duty, and those are going to stay on me, and I'm going to keep them safe. And then same deal with like wallets. If you're not comfortable with your kid having their wallet, they can put it in my bag. Again, it's safe. It's got a lock. It's heavy. Like, yeah, it's good. I've never had an issue with it, and I've taken it abroad for years. Free time. This is so free time or unscheduled time, I guess. The kids will still be with chaperones. What this is just is like, okay, we don't have an activity, so we'll walk down the street, we'll go into a shop, we'll go in a shop together, we'll look around, we'll leave together, or we'll go to the beach, we'll do that together, but we're going to be together, so it's not going to be anything that is where we're not together. The only time the chaperones will not be with the kids is in the hotel rooms. Otherwise, your kids will be supervised the whole time. And again, a lot of things with security and safety. If I didn't cover it in those three, please feel free to ask me. And then last, why send your child? I think what's really cool about tours in middle school and high school, and whether you go on this one or not, it's a great way to have a safe and exciting travel experience with your peers. Once you get into like college and beyond, you usually don't go on tours so much. You just kind of go on your own. And this is a great way to break you into that experience with a nice safety net. Yeah, it's safe. I know what I'm doing. I know where to go. My friends keep me updated on just about everything while I'm there and getting ready for it. And if something's going to happen, they'll give me ideas. This particular trip, I have different trips for different age groups. Middle school is different than high school, is different than adult trips. And so this trip, the activities are geared towards, the middle school students. Yeah, prepare for foreign travel when you're older so that you have some idea of what to expect, and you just don't go on your first trip abroad all by yourself and you're like, now what do I do? You already have some experience with that. And then experiencing other cultures, it's fascinating, to be in the life of someone else, to see what it's like to live elsewhere. It may just be for, a week and a half, but, you see and learn so much in that week and a half. And, bringing that on back, it's absolutely exciting. I have parents tell me about how their kids taught them, like, some of the stuff they learned in the cooking class and the pictures they're showing them and, the experiences they're talking about. It's brilliant. I love it. I absolutely love it, which is why I keep doing it. So that's all of that in a nutshell. If you do have any questions, please reach out to me, matthew.baronsmeyer@gmail.com. You can also follow me on Instagram and at Baronsmeyer Travels. Yeah, just feel free to get a hold of me. Let me know what you're thinking if you have any questions. I would love to, help people travel and make you feel comfortable with the decision of, sending your kid to Greece and Naples. But with that, I'm going to sign off. Thank you for listening.